Hey everyone, this is Neetu Rishi. Welcome to Season 2 of Passionpreneur show. A little about me. Most of you know me as an entrepreneur. Some know me as an author, a pageant coach, a keynote speaker. But one word that describes me best is a passionpreneur because I converted my passion into a thriving business. It runs by the name The Success Door. It's a coaching academy for youth and adults for your personal growth. Now, we are in Season 2, and I'm super excited to introduce you to our guest for today. But before that, let me thank our sponsor for today's episode, Mr. Sumir Vij from Guided Gains Services. Again, it's not just a business, it's a passion project to help you in your financial success. So, reach out to them to your financial success in life. And now, without any further ado, let's welcome our guest for today, none other than Miss Sandra Yancey. Welcome to our show. How have you been?
It's so great to be here with you, Neetu.
I feel someone pinches me.
Yeah.
I am sitting next to you.
What?
Wow.
I'm so honored to be here, honestly.
I've watched all your videos and you have been on so many shows. So exciting. Now, I'm sure you know about her. Who doesn't know about her? That's a little. Try to squeezing in little words. She is the CEO and founder of eWomen Network, a multi-million-dollar enterprise with 500,000 women connected across 118 chapters in North America, Australia, and UK. Her company hosts 2,000 plus women business events annually. Sandra has been featured on the Emmy-winning show, The Doctors. She has authored 6 best-selling business books and was named as American Hero by CNN. Wow, it's a legacy that you have created. But I'm also surprised getting all these women together. It's definitely a task. So we would like to dive into your past. Let's start how this journey started. What inspired you to be a transformation coach?
Well, I was in Dayton, Ohio. That's where I was born and raised. I'm first generation American. My mother was from Mexico. My father was French Canadian. They met in Detroit. I never had a chance to know my father. He died before I was old enough to really have any memories of him, killed in a car accident. I was raised by my mother in a very, very traditional kind of Mexican home environment. I, was in high school. I was ready to graduate early. I wanted to do the cap and gown thing. And if you graduated in January, they didn't let you go through the cap and gown. Of course, that's what it was all about for me. So I took a couple of classes in the morning and I went and got a job at a bank. And I realized then that there was something bigger than how I was raised in my small kind of farm town community. And I met my husband when I was a senior in high school. We got married and we embarked on a wonderful life. He was always the entrepreneur. I was always the corporate woman.
Okay.
And then I started to have children, Neetu, after 13 years. And exactly. And then I thought, I didn't want that, the rigor of kind of the corporate career. So went out on my own. My husband and I decided to move to Dallas. And I thought, I don't have to travel anymore. I mean, here I am in this big city, and there was, Frito-Lay and JCPenney's. Ross Perot had his big EDS complex. And I thought, I don't have to be on a plane. At that time, my clients were Coca-Cola and Levi Strauss and John Deere and Wall Street Journal. But I was always on a plane. And I thought, gosh, I'm going to be in Dallas. Let me start networking here and seeing if I can kind of get in. And I found that the networking was really hard to break through as a woman.
Yes.
And so I started going to women's events. And I was like, where are the women that if they're going to be away from their families, their children, they want a lot to show for it. They want to make $1 million. And I couldn't find it. And it was actually my husband's idea that said, Sandra, why don't you build it? And that was kind of the start, to be honest with you.
So, I understand corporate job is a luxurious job. It keeps giving you the paychecks. But at the end of the day, I myself feel that the contented life that you want to sleep with contentment by leaving a legacy, that triggered you. And thanks to your husband, bringing that entrepreneurial spirit and igniting you.
Yes,
That is
for
so
sure.
beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
And then when you mentioned about networking, I also read that you were always little kind of, you disliked those networking events.
Yeah.
And then you came out with this most decorated women networking.
Yes.
When did that start? What was that instance?
What I realized when I moved to Dallas and was starting to network was how uncomfortable it was for me. And I started to take a look at my own behavior. I mean, I was one of those that would hurry up and go get the little mocktail with the straw, and it almost was like a crutch, or a security blanket. My hands weren't really available to, pass out Christmas cards, business cards, and shake hands, and all of that kind of thing. And I realized there was something in me that wasn't comfortable in the environment. I married a music man who was extroverted, never met a stranger. I'm much more on the introverted side. And so it just wasn't comfortable for me. And I thought, what would it be like, Neetu, if I could create a system or a process where everybody had the opportunity to say who they were and what they were passionate about and how they created a business out of it and how they serve and help their customer or client and what it is that they did to be able to transact business. Right. And so I thought that's what was missing for people like me. And so I created a solution for my problem, and I used that to build a business.
Very nice. And then, when these women, they come together, they know it's a safe place where they're not being judged. Learning for them becomes easy.
Yes.
And you rightly said, bringing them out of the comfort zone is where the growth starts.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And moving from the small talk, I think it's really easy for women sometimes to get caught up in the small talk, and it becomes an awkward transition to really talking about business.
Self-doubt as well. When I started my business and my husband gave me all those business cards and I went to a networking event at a chamber, I was like, should I pass on the cards?
Yes.
But then you have to be, if you are an entrepreneur, you have to sell the business. That's the first thing you need to do.
Yes, but how do you do it in a way where it has purpose?
Yes.
That it has intention. And it's not about just she who passes out the most cards wins.
Exactly.
Right? What I believe is that with the right network, it can actually shrink in size and expand in value with the right people.
Right.
So learning how to network to find your real right fit clients.
Sharing your story, sharing your purpose. That can be relatable.
Yes.
Very nice.
It's really what it's about, right?
And then it's been years. You have created that, as I say, legacy. And we all know there's no overnight success.
No.
If someone stumbles on your website and sees, oh my gosh, look at this glamorous entrepreneur.
Yes.
They do not know what goes behind. So was there an instance, kind of a setback or a challenge, someday you decided, I want to give up, but you did not. Is there an instance that you would like to share with our audience?
Yes, I remember very clearly my mother calling me one time and asking me how it was going. And I said, this is harder than I ever imagined it to be. I'm making the least amount of money than I've ever made in my life. I'm working more hours than I've ever worked before. Like, this feels crazy to me. And I remember saying to her very clearly, I think I'm going to go back and get a job and do a women network on the side. And my mother was then saying, well, Sandra, you don't really get a job. You have a career, and that is more than 40 hours. It's not what you're working now, but it's definitely more than 40 hours. You have 2 small children. How are you going to do that? And I remember saying to her, Mom, I don't really know, but I know this isn't working and I have to do something different. And she said, how do you know you're not quitting 5 minutes before the miracle begins? And it was a powerful question for me to think about. What if I am right there, at the cusp of the breakthrough?
Right.
And I remember saying, I don't know, Mom. What would you have me do? What would you suggest? And she said, I don't know, honey, but I do know that I gave birth to a daughter smart enough to figure it out.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
It gave me that moment of, I got to figure this out. I don't know the answer right now. It's in my blind spot. But I know that somebody can help me. And I started digging, and that's when I found out about coaching. And I hired my first coach. And I just realized then that we're sometimes just too close to our own stuff to be able to see the answers for ourselves, and we need someone else who can help ask us the right questions, illuminate the options.
Right.
And then once I had that, then I could run. I could take it and run, right?
Sometimes you just need that little push.
Yes.
And, the word simply says, don't give up, never give up.
That's
the
right.
word is small, but it has a lot of power in that.
No question about it,
Very
right?
nice. And you have been interviewed at many places. You have shared your stories. But I'm also excited to know about the movie, The Glow Project.
Yes, the Glow Project.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I really wanted to see if I could create relationships with the women who have built $100 million to $1 billion businesses or were holding real top C-suite influential positions in corporations. And for me, it was really about seeing if I could get them to share their real story. Because you know as well as I do, Neetu, there's so much, that's put out into the world that really doesn't share what the hard times are.
Exactly.
And, everybody that's made it has had hard times.
Everybody talks about their success. I always say we should share our failure resume with people.
Yes,
That's
amen.
important.
I believe that so much because I think we've been taught, at least Western women and men for that matter, have been taught that success and failure are on opposite roads. And you and I both know that failure is on the same road of success. It's just a little bit farther down.
It's a stepping stone to reach there.
Exactly. It's actually, I think our setbacks and our failures are often just signals to say, you're moving too fast right now. You need to stop. There's a really big lesson in this. And you need to take pause and learn this lesson because chances are you're going to see it down the road when the stakes are much higher.
Exactly.
And you need the benefit of the wisdom to know what to do differently, right? And so that's what the Glow Project was about. It was really about looking at these most amazing, accomplished women and really revealing some of the lowest points in their life, but more importantly, how they use them as stepping stones.
They can become an inspiration for someone else.
No question, for sure. You actually give other people permission, I think, sometimes to say, oh my goodness, if she can do it, if she can overcome.
I can do it too.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, my next question would be, if someone wants to create a movie on your life, what do you think should be the title?
Great question, Neetu. That's a great question. I would say, Ain't No Stopping Me Now.
See, the title is already ready. Is someone making a movie on you?
No.
Already?
No, but it's a good idea. There's a song that's Ain't No Stopping Us Now.
Yeah.
And it's on my phone. And, whenever I get a setback or whenever I get disappointed or whenever I have something that is hard for me to figure out, it's often the song I play to inspire me to say, everything is figure-outable. I need to not let that stop me.
Right.
I need to find what are the things that's going to propel me forward. It gets me into action mode. I think you can get really stuck sometimes in the problem. My mother used to say, when you find yourself digging yourself in a hole, Sandra, step one, stop digging, put down the shovel, turn around, reach for the rope, the ladder, the megaphone, scream for help, whatever it is you need. But, stop.
This is really powerful. No, definitely. I have in my list to make a motivational movie.
You do?
I'm not a producer or a director,
Right.
but when I launched my YouTube channel, a motivational channel, my dream was to start with a motivational song. So with the help of some people, I created it.
Really?
Next one is the movie. So let's see. Now I know the title.
I need to stay in touch with you on that.
Of course.
I want to help you promote that.
I wish I could sit with you and listen to all your stories. We are going to do that soon after the interview. But coming towards the last segment, let me share this with our audience. I started a series this year by the name Wednesday Voice, where I was sharing a little acronym, just 1 minute, and I call it a magic formula. Even though we know nothing is magic, you need to work hard to grow, but taking that consistent steps in life helps us to grow. So I started this, and when I was looking at your profile and going through it, it said you're very focused. It said you're not afraid of achieving what you want to. So this reminded me of two of my magic formulas. First was wit, whatever it takes. And the second was win, what's important now, stay focused. So now I'm going to pose you a question.
Okay.
Is there a magic formula? Because I know you help ordinary women to live an extraordinary life.
Yes.
So is there a magic formula that you would like to share with our audience that they can apply to live that kind of life?
Well, someone told me a long time ago that fear was an acronym for forget everything and run.
Yes.
Right? And what I believe is that fear often is misplaced anxiousness. We often put a label onto it that can cause us to want to retreat, right? What I believe is that fear is feel everything and rise.
Wow.
Right? I mean, feel it all, understand it's part of the journey, right? If it's feeling a little uncomfortable for you, it's probably because you're on the brink of a breakthrough. So feel it and go for it anyway.
There you go. You got another magic formula. Fear, feel it, feel above and
Feel everything and rise.
and rise. So you got to remember to live an extraordinary life. And Ms. Sandra, how can people reach out to you?
Easiest way is through the website. It's eWomenNetwork.com.
eWomenNetwork.com. And I'm sure you do not want to miss this event. I am going, definitely.
Good.
But with that, we come towards the end of our little episode of Passionpreneur Show. But once again, I would like to thank our sponsor for today, Guided Gains Services. Stay tuned for the next one. Signing off, your host, Neetu Rishi.
Welcome to Guided Gains, where your financial aspirations meet reality. Are you tired of feeling overwhelmed by money matters? Do you dream of a future where financial freedom is not just a wish, but a tangible reality? At Guided Gains, we understand the challenges you face. That's why we're here to provide personalized solutions tailored to your unique goals and circumstances. With our team of financial experts by your side, you'll gain the knowledge, tools, and support you need to navigate the complexities of finance with confidence. Contact us today and let's embark on a journey to wealth and prosperity together.